We talk a lot about the importance of technical skills on this channel, but when you're interviewing for roles in commercial real estate, sometimes Excel and general real estate finance knowledge still won't be enough to help you make the cut. During the interview process, you might find that some companies will want to know how tapped in you are to the commercial real estate market as a whole and how familiar you are with current events going on in the industry today. Now, these don't tend to be the most frequently asked questions during this process, but when people are asked general market knowledge questions in commercial real estate interviews, I found that these generally fall into one of three categories. And to make sure you're ready if this type of scenario is thrown your way, in this video, let's break down three types of market-related questions that you might have to tackle during the interview process outside of just general real estate finance topics and the specific research that you'll want to focus on most when preparing for an interview. So after helping people go through this process for a few years now, I've seen some of the most pre-interview anxiety around market-related questions and what people will need to know outside of just technical definitions and Excel-based knowledge during the interview process. When macro-related topics are thrown into the mix, it can seem like there are an infinite number of questions to prepare for, but fortunately, when these questions are asked, these usually fall into one of three buckets. So the first market-specific topic that companies often bring up during the interview process is the current state of interest rates, specifically whether these have increased, decreased, or stayed the same in recent months. Most of the time, companies just want to make sure that you're aware of the direction in which interest rates are going and the effect that might have on the commercial real estate market rather than quizzing you on the exact 10-year treasury yield on the day of the interview. Usually, this question will come wrapped within another question around what you think the recent change in interest rates will do to commercial real estate values, which is really a two-part question. What has happened to interest rates recently, and what happens to commercial real estate values when interest rates go up or down? Now, I have another video that goes over the answer to the second part of this question in detail, and I'll link that in the description below. But essentially, companies want to know that you have at least a general pulse on the commercial real estate capital markets and that you have a basic understanding of the cause and effect relationship between interest rates and values. And if you're interviewing for a job that's based in the US, the benchmark rate that most firms will be referring to when they ask these types of questions is the US Treasury yield, which is often referred to as the risk-free rate that most fixed-rate commercial real estate loans will reference as an index. Treasury.gov is a great place to find the most up-to-date data on this, and if you want to see historical trends over time, the Fred website is a great place to see how today's rates stack up against historical figures. Very, very few companies will expect you to have a full thesis prepared around whether or not you believe interest rates will increase and why, and really all that most companies are looking for here is that you understand the potential implications of interest rate increases or decreases on the commercial real estate market and that you care enough to check in on rates regularly or at least before the interview. Now, aside from interest rates, the next thing that companies are going to be looking for when asking these types of questions is that you have a general understanding of current market conditions in the specific product types and geographic markets the company is active within. Historically, this would have required you to have an expensive magazine subscription or industry affiliation, but today all the information you'll need in most cases is going to be available for free online. Major brokerage firms like CBRE, JLL, and Cushman & Wakefield all put out quarterly or annual reports on specific product types and geographic markets, and with a quick Google search, you'll be able to find things like current market rents and vacancy figures, net absorption rates, new construction coming online, and a bunch of other variables that can help you get up to speed really quickly on almost any major market in the country. Fortunately, most of these reports are also really concise and to the point, which means that you won't need to spend hours pouring through textbooks or 100-page research reports just trying to find only one or two golden nuggets of information. So to prepare for these types of questions, the first thing you'll need to do is research the company's portfolio, which is usually going to be really easy to spot directly on the company's website. And from there, if you know that, for example, the company buys office buildings in Charlotte, Atlanta, and Miami, all you need to do next is fire up the most recent office market reports from CBRE, JLL, Cushman, or any other major brokerage firm with a strong research arm to get a sense for what's happening in each market right now and where office product might be headed in the future in each of these metros. Commercial real estate news websites like Globe Street, BizNow, and The Real Deal are also great places to search for up-to-date market information, and most of these major news sources will also allow you to search directly by geographic market and or product type. Again, most companies aren't looking for an in-depth research report from you here, but they do want to know that you care enough and are committed enough to get a feel for what's going on in the company's world before you head into the interview. And then finally, the last market-related topic you'll want to prepare for is a question around your understanding of the current state of the commercial real estate market in general and what you would bet on when making investment decisions and why that is the case. I've seen a surprising amount of feedback lately from people who mention that they've been asked a question in an interview along the lines of, if you had $100 million to invest, how would you invest it? Now, I have another video which goes through how I'd recommend answering this question in detail, which I'll link in the description below, but similar to what I mentioned in point number 2 in this video, this is a way for companies to get to know how much you're keeping up with market news and how tied in you are to the commercial real estate industry. And to prepare for this type of question, this might mean doing some research into the implications of some things a little bit outside of traditional commercial real estate. So for example, digging into topics like PropTech, ESG, new legislation, or even tax changes that could impact the commercial real estate industry directly. Again, news sites like Globe Street, BizNow, and The Real Deal are all great resources for this, but you can even go more mainstream with your sources with just a Google search around any of these topics. If you're asked this type of a question in an interview, this is really meant to give the company an idea of your thought process around making investment decisions and also how you would go about backing up a thesis, whatever that might be. In these scenarios, the interviewer isn't necessarily going to judge you based on whether or not they agree with your thoughts, but they are going to be looking at whether or not your thoughts are logical and verbalized clearly and are also backed up by a knowledge and understanding of cause and effect relationships within the economy. Now, as a caveat here, just make sure that you are staying away from your opinion on hot button political issues that might set someone off in the wrong way. But if you prepare for a question around where you would invest a large sum of money in commercial real estate right now and why, you'll be in great shape for most questions that might be thrown your way. Ultimately, I found that it's significantly more rare than people think to be asked questions around the state of the market and the macro economy in a commercial real estate interview, and the focus is usually going to be on your technical skills and what you can bring to the table there. But in case you do find yourself in a situation where a current event or market-specific question pops up, I hope this is helpful and gives you some clarity heading into interview day. And if you want some additional help in tightening up your Excel skill set, or you just want some additional guidance and feedback as you're going through the commercial real estate application and interview process, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking the CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, our entire library of pre-built acquisition, development, and waterfall models for multifamily, office, retail, and industrial properties, and you'll also have access to private one-on-one email-based career coaching if you're looking to break into a top real estate private equity, brokerage, or lending shop and want some additional personalized feedback on your own unique career scenario. And if you like this video and want to see more content on this channel on commercial real estate interviews, make sure to hit the like button and let me know. And let me know in the comments any market-specific questions you've been asked during the interview process. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.